Mr. Smith.
Hey y'all, what's up? What's good? What's cracking? Welcome to the King and Me Show. I'm one half of the Sting King.
Hey y'all, it's me, Michelle. How y'all doing?
And we live, liggity lizard.
Live
This
and
Monday.
live in color. Do what you wanna do. And live in color. Hey.
In living color. June the 2nd of 2025. And we here. Happy to be through the first 6 months of this calendar year, which, let me tell you, I don't know about you or how you feel. To me, these 6 months have flown by. January, February, March, April, May. The first 5 months of this 2025 year has flown by fast. How's it felt for you? Well, we in the 6th month.
We're in the 6th month, but technically the half
Only
of the
5,
year.
yes.
Yeah. It's gone by pretty quickly. Definitely has.
Okay.
But I'm grateful. I count my blessings.
No doubt, no doubt. Let's see. We here at the King and Me Show attempt to offer a real outlook on a healthy relationship. Real being relatable,
Entertaining,
accountable,
and loving.
Now, before we get into it, we have a couple of things. First of all, bam, my new shirt came in. This is the photo that Michelle created, or the picture that Michelle created for The King and Me. And this is on our website, thekingandmeshow.com. I also have my favorite one where it said, the train's going that way. Or train's going this way. This way. And hop on and get left. We have a couple of people in the building.
Come on, ride the train.
And then?
And ride it. I'm sorry.
It's all good.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
We have a couple of people in the building, and let's acknowledge them. We got Tarika popped in the building, said, good evening, everyone. Hit the like button as you come in. And I'm here, King and Queen. How are we doing? Well, we're over here dancing and humming, so we're doing great. I want to give a shout out to Tarika. She's been somebody that's been a longtime supporter of our channel, a longtime supporter of me as well. We've met in person down in her home state, and I hope that the book, she's read the 48 Laws of Power. There is a 48 Laws of Power for women, and she just got that book. And Tarika, when you're done with it, let me know how it is and if you would recommend it for Michelle so I can buy it for her. We also got Paul Bennett in the building. Paul.
Hey, Paul.
I saw a really fantastic photo of his beautiful family, his wife and his 3 adult daughters. They were all dressed to the nines. I think they were at somebody's wedding.
I didn't see it.
And they were dressed to the nines. Do you follow Paul Bennett on his social media? I'll show you.
Why come you ain't shown me?
It was an amazing picture. Mr. Bennett, you have a beautiful family. And thanks for sharing that photo with everybody. Now, as we usually do when we change calendar months, we swap live on the calendar here that Michelle has gotten us the last 2 years. This is the second calendar, right?
This is the second one, yeah.
And I always like to try to guess and see if I know where the picture is from. So as Michelle makes this swap, Let's see if I can gain an idea of where this picture's from.
So are you going to take a guess first, or you want me to reveal it?
Oh, you know what? Let me take a guess first. So June of 2024.
June of 2024.
We were together doing something.
And we were definitely doing something.
All right. Go ahead and show me.
Oh, that was a guess.
That was it.
All right. Bam! We were doing a live.
Oh, okay. Yes. That looks like our live photo with my baby giving me them luscious lips.
Yes.
So nice. All right. So June 2025, we have 30 days in this month, 5 Sundays.
Mm-hmm.
I always think that months with 5 Sundays typically have good things happen. It's just been a Southern superstition of mine.
I'm telling you, them Southerners, man. The real Southerners, not the fake ones that he claims I am because I'm from Maryland.
Not the
Maryland. South. Maryland is in the South. We are south of the Mason-Dixon line.
Culturally, it don't count. Culturally, it don't count. Today, we are going to be going over various Reddits that I have found and a few that were sent to me where people are asking questions across the subreddit dating and the subreddit relationship advice. I've screened these only for length, but I have not fully read them. Michelle has no idea what they are.
Nope.
So we're just going to jump right into it. We're going to read the Reddits and offer advice the best way that we can. And y'all are welcome to contribute to the conversation as well. So let's bring up the first one here. The first one is a question in which a lady asked, are men attracted to bigger women? She says that I'm a 24-year-old female, 5 months out of a relationship. I want to try out something casual as I'm loving the single life and emotionally unavailable. I'm 5'4" and 72 kilograms. I don't know what kilograms to weight would be. With clothes on, I look curvy, but naked, you can see the stretch marks and love handles. Is it a turnoff for men when they see fluffiness in sexual partners?
I got it. Don't worry about it.
Thank you. So
158 pounds.
So 5'4", 158. Is it a turnoff? In general, that's one of those, and I don't want to say it depends, but really in this case, it does, right? It's one of those things that really beauty is in the eye of the beholder. You have what people might say, well, what's like the international beauty standard? And I'm going to tell you right now, if you ask 100 different people, you're going to get 100 different answers for what they like. Some people you can't be too short. Some people you can't be too tall. Some people you can't be too skinny. Some people you can't be too big. So in general, is it a turnoff for fluffiness? In general, I'd say no. The thing that I would caution you about, the thing that I would caution you about is to at least be confident in what you're carrying.
Yeah.
That confidence can take you a long way, no matter what your height is, no matter what your size is. That confidence can take you a long way. So don't necessarily worry about what you think people feel about fluffiness. Understand that it is a factor, sure. But as long as you're confident in how you're carrying it, you'll be okay. You'll find somebody that is definitely willing to say, oh, you only want to have bedroom fun from time to time and that's it? Shout out to you. All right, Paul Bennett was able to translate that for us as well. Thank you, said 162.8 pounds. Pete said, hey guys, and Jack Davini over on, I can't see the platform, I'm sorry, says that I'm attracted to bigger women as a bigger man, but I've experienced that most people, even big people, are generally attracted to fit people. And I won't disagree with that. I would say in general, yes, you put a bunch of different types of people in a room. I believe that a fitter person is going to draw more eyes than people on either end of the spectrum. That's my opinion though. what would you add?
I mean, I think there is a desire for, especially for women who are fit. I'm sorry, women who are fluffier. We do want to know that we're secure with the man that we're with, and that, he can pick us up, he can do the manly things. So sometimes you are going to go towards that more sturdy person. I know a guy, we used to work together. I swear he lives in the gym. Like lives in the gym. And he has, like, I've never seen an ounce of fat on this man's body. But he loves him a plus size woman. And before he got engaged and had the child with the woman that he's with now, he would post about plus size women every single day. Like, the fluffier the better. All of those memes that you can think about that talk about, heaven being in between the thighs and all of that. He would post about all of, I should probably go take a scroll through and show you, but he would post about all of that. And he is still so fit, so trim, lives in the gym, post videos of him going to the gym, but he loves himself a fluffier woman. So, it is what it is.
Okay. We have a couple more comments here, and then we'll go to the next one. Jack Davini over on, this was Facebook, I believe.
Okay.
Said men are more attracted to big women than the opposite. So if we were to take the two spectrums and say bigger or skinnier, you would say attracted more to some women with some meat on their bones? Who?
Wait a minute. Hold on. Let me make sure I'm
gonna
reading
need
that here comment correctly.
I'm gonna need y'all to weigh in on that one. If there's any fellas that are willing to put that out there, put it out there. I don't know. I've heard some men say that women with some meat on their bones.
Oh.
Did I read it wrong?
No, you gotta read what he just wrote.
Okay.
That's what that is. No.
Let's see.
That one.
Big guys are smaller downstairs, so maybe that's why. Let's see. Now I'm saying that women aren't as attracted to big guys as men are attracted to big girls. Okay.
I don't know. I've always felt safe and secure with a man with a little meat on his bones.
Yeah.
Look, I look at, so the way I always looked at it.
Go ahead.
Especially growing up, I've always been fluffier, right? And have I dated the skinny guy? Yes, I have. And it's something that lacks with the skinny guy. The skinny guy can't keep me warm in the winter. I love to be cold I love to be cold when I go to sleep at night. And what's the little skinny guy gonna do? He's not gonna be able to warm me up. Like, when I am cold, King naturally runs hot. Mm-hmm. So we'll start there. King runs hot. But when I'm cold, I can literally just put my little cold hand on King.
Cold hands.
Okay, they're not as cold right now because I'm sitting in front of a heater. But I can put my hands on King and he will warm me up. So no, I love it.
Let's see. We got two more comments I want to highlight. Pete said, did I show you this video that he made for me? Not yet, Pete. I can't show her now because that's the same phone that we use for the live stream, but I'll send it to her. It's stupid. It's dumb. Okay. I'm just going to say that.
Okay.
And I don't even know how you're going to react to it, but just know that when I saw it, I just laughed.
Okay.
All right. And then Paul said, start on the slimmer side and with the kids grow into a fuller, more voluptuous package. Jack said that in general, women are choosier. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I don't think you'll find
argument.
people that will disagree with that whatsoever. And Jack said that 1 out of 14 men has a fat fetish.
Yes.
And 1 out of 100 women have a fat fetish.
Really?
I would agree with those stats. I believe that.
I mean, I don't think he's wrong, but man, that's still that's horrible for men. But no, I will say that because there was one of the skinny guys that I dated when I was in high school, and technically we didn't date, but that's neither here nor there. He dated skinny women publicly, but he loved to do other things with fluffier women.
Bet. Let's see. I'm gonna have to do this here to read some of these because we won't be able to go over. So, all right, hey, y'all have added some contribution to our first one already. I like that. Let's go over here to the next
I
one.
loved what Paul wrote. Okay, play it, play it. I love it.
That one right there
Yeah.
said, when I was dating, I added at least
Come on
25 pounds
now.
to a woman's frame. Nice. All right. So this next one is about blind dates. And the person said, I need advice. How do y'all feel about blind dates? So I'm being set up on a blind date, something I did not request or share interest in. And I'm just overall very nervous and anxious. I'm not sure exactly what it's stemming from, but it could just be general dating fatigue and uncertainty. I have a lot of friends who are in relationships, recently engaged, and while I of course want a partner, sometimes when I'm in group settings with multiple couples, my dating life or lack thereof becomes the topic of discussion. I don't mind, but I also don't want my love life to become some kind of pity party or people thinking they need to set me up with their friends. I don't know. I know that I'm overthinking, and it's just from past experiences that's triggering this anxiety. I've done the whole setup with the friend of a friend, and it was horrible and made things weird for me and my actual friend when I didn't want to move forward. And I recently have been trying to move on from someone who hurt me so bad. I'm trying to stay fun and light, but I'm also older now and just extremely protective of my heart. As I'm typing this, I'm like, yo, it's okay. It's just a date. But I'm scared and know nothing about him, which I get is the point. Professional overthinker here. I know a little bit about those type of people. Also, would love advice on what to do on the date. Is a cafe too boring, or should we do something that has an activity in case it gets awkward? Okay, so this seems like it was written from a woman and interested or asking for advice about a blind date that she's going on. So let's start here. We were sort of kind of set up in a blind date situation, although we did have some information
We had each other's names.
about each other prior to. I think depending on the market, where you live at, what you have around you, how open you are to being hot, honest, open, and transparent.
Shout out to the
Shout
real
out
precious.
to the real precious. Early on, that blind dates aren't bad if people don't just show up with their representative. And that's the hard part. Most people want to put their best foot forward early on because either they're trying to showcase the best version of themselves or they're just trying to do what they need to do to get the draws and then it's on to the next. And how do you discern that? To the OP person on Reddit that's asking the question, I don't have any issues with blind dates. I say show up as your authentic self. And if you don't get a good vibe off the person, you're not obligated to do anything. You asked if a cafe was too boring or whatnot. I think anything that gives you the opportunity to communicate verbally is one of the best opportunities or chances for a first date blind date. So I don't believe a cafe to be too boring. I think that a cafe is right at that sweet spot that if y'all aren't feeling each other, it's okay to say, hey, look, the date's not going well for me. It's not a reflection of you or anything, but I'm just going to go home and leave.
So the last date that I went on prior to King, um, the last date that I went on was with this guy. We met on Hinge. He was literally the only person I connected with on Hinge because I created my account on a Sunday. He responded to me that Sunday and asked if we could go out on the Tuesday, and we went out on the Tuesday. He wanted to go out to dinner, and I'm vegan. I don't eat meat. And for me on a first date, and this is my thing, it's a little bit awkward to go out with people who don't know me to a restaurant to eat because I feel like I have to be so restricted on what I can eat. So unless they're willing to go to a vegan restaurant, it's a little bit awkward for me. So he wanted to go out to a restaurant, and I'm thinking, you know what, let me just make this lighter. You know, I'm meeting you on the internet. From the internet, I've never seen you in person. Can we go to the bookstore and go to the cafe? So I wanted us to go to a Barnes and Nobles that was relatively close for both of us because I knew Barnes and Nobles had a Starbucks inside. I thought that was an okay thing because I'm like, that's an easy escape, get away if I don't like it, and I don't feel like I'm obligated to pay you dinner or pay you with anything else. I thought it was cool. However, once we cleared that parking lot and I sent him a message just, to make sure that he had gotten home safely, literally never heard from him again. And to be fair, it's not like I was looking for him after that because as I was driving home, I was on the phone with King and I was venting and I was like, I can't believe I went on this date with this guy and I don't think it was good and like I'm going off and I was like, the dating market sucks, it sucks, it sucks. I don't want to do this anymore. And King so graciously stopped and he was in a parking lot waiting to go grocery shopping and he stopped to listen to me vent and I was like, where are you? And he told, well, I didn't yell, but I was like, where are you? He told me where he was and I pulled up in the parking lot, got in his car and vented some more. And then
I remember this, yes.
and that was the Tuesday. And then we made the decision to enter into a dating contract. And 2 days later, on that Thursday, that's when we signed off on the dating contract and we began dating. So it was literally the only one date that I made on Hinge. And I still to this day say that Hinge brought us together. Like, I know who really brought us together, but I like to say that Hinge brought us together.
Now, it's hilarious too, right? Because hear what she just said. We weren't dating at this point, but we were communicating. We were friends. And I thought she was a dope person. I also, at the time, was like, yeah, I'm just not in a space where I want to be dating. And I'm hearing her talk about how awful these guys are. And I'm like, okay, I know how I am. It can't be that bad out there. But then I thought about my own experiences. And before her and I got together, I was on the dating market. I took myself off the dating market completely. Now, I've heard some people say that you attract what you get or you attract who you are. And I don't believe in that, right?
I think I'm a pretty cool person.
I think I'm a dope individual. I'm not everybody's cup of tea, but I think that I'm a dope individual. But yet, the people that I was giving time to, there were a few great people that I met, but I met them when I wasn't in the right space to be dating. And they know that now. I also didn't really waste their time. We went on maybe 1 or 2 dates, and then I'm like, yeah, no.
So I appreciate Jack. Like, Jack, I don't know who you are, but I appreciate you. And like, I feel like it's now my life's mission to get you on a good date. Because the first thing Jack said is that he is a 34-year-old lawyer with no debt. Hello. Like, did you watch our episode where we talked about the dating matrix? You are like in that quality area. You should be getting snatched up, sir. You should be booed up. You should be swatting away the 304s left and right. So the fact that you aren't, I have just made it my personal mission to fix that. And there we go. So he said that, and he said that he got more attention when he was normal weight and underweight versus now that he's, and I'm just going to say fluffy. And now that he's got,
sizey.
Pushing for the good.
Sizey.
Sizey. Okay. Sizey. Now that he's gotten sizey. And I find like that I personally would not recommend that you advertise, out there that, you're this lawyer without debt, because I would want people to come to you based off of the strength of the personality that you bring. Yet I do, as you said, you haven't been on any good dates.
Yeah.
Where have you gone for dates? Like, what are your dates looking like? Where are you going? I recommend trying something that requires a little activity. And also, where are you meeting these women that you are going out on dates with? And I apologize. I'm assuming that you are a man and that you are attempting to date a woman. So I do apologize if I'm assuming incorrectly. But where are you meeting these young ladies? Where have you been going? Let's dive deeper to see how we can get you a good date.
So it mostly feels like I'm on a job interview and I got nothing in common. Doesn't matter what someone's career is or whatever it looks first. If it ain't there, you are considered a friend. Looks are the first order. It is. I mean, sexual attraction, I think, is what you look at somebody and go, huh, right? I mean, let's just call it like a spade a spade. Looks do matter, but again, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So I told you when I first saw you, I was like, okay. Like in person, I was like, yes. She was wearing this yellow Jamaican shirt with this, because it was Jamaican Independence Day.
Hey.
And my favorite jean shorts that she wear that looks good on her.
The fluffy fluffs, okay? It's giving what it needs to give.
So it does matter. I'd like to know what market he's in, meaning are you in a bigger city? Like your Atlanta, your Philadelphia's, your Los Angeles's?
Baltimore.
Or are you in a small market like
Baltimore,
Anniston, Alabama, which is where I'm from?
So specific.
Or Eufaula, Alabama, you know,
or even like
small
Alabama. Just
Alabama in general.
Alabama in
Mississippi,
general.
which shout out to Mississippi.
Roll Tide.
There are a couple of people out there that I know, like Jackson, Mississippi. That's a dope place to be. Outside of Jackson, Mississippi, good luck. So I'd love to know what market you're in because that does matter too. So I'm in Tampa.
Okay.
Tampa. You know what? Tampa is sort of like the East. They're the East Coast Los Angeles. If you don't fit a certain look in Tampa, okay. So Jack, I can understand that. I've been to Tampa, St. Pete area quite often. It's been a while since I've been there. It was actually, for the longest time, I was going to call that home after my daughter graduated. And when you get down there, go down to, man, what's that area in Tampa? Like the party area, which partying is not my scene, but I am a sociable person. I'll go out, but I'm not a club guy. I forget that area.
I want to know
but if
more.
you hit a certain,
I want to do matchmaking.
If you don't fit a certain look, you're just not gonna do well around that area. So I understand it now.
And he said that he's been to the planetarium, bookstores, open mic, restaurants, movies. Now, I'll be honest, I am not a fan of a movie on a first date. That's just me. I feel like a movie doesn't lend for conversation. And if this is a blind date, if this is the first time you're meeting this person, going to a movie does not allow for you to be able to have quality conversation with that person. I should also add my level of bias because I am what's known as a sapiosexual. I thrive off of being able to have an intellectual conversation with someone. So I will get lost in an intellectual conversation and just be completely distracted. But looks do matter. King, when I
Ybor City. Thank you.
When I first met the actual King Smith, he had on a Marvel comic shirt. And I tell him all the time, had he been wearing a DC shirt, we would not be here. Because Marvel showed exactly who he was. And I had a deep moment with one of my students today that when you look at Marvel, you were looking at people who reveal their true selves all the time. Whereas DC, they hide behind a mask. So.
Okay. Yeah, so Ybor City. Yep.
Okay.
I've been there. Yeah, like there's a certain look that, goes in that area. Let's see. I've got the next thing tuned up here, but I saw that there were a couple of questions. Jack did state, I've never went on a movie date for a first date, but I have been to movies on a date. I did go to movies on a first date, and I thought the person was dope. This is also the same movie that it was a Tyler Perry movie, and it was one of his bad ones.
Ooh.
And I think I snored twice in the movie. I thought I was cooked with my date from that point. But she still wanted to spend some more time. I think she saw that I had good bones, something I recently just heard,
Ooh.
and gave me some more time. But she was one of the people that I met when I really wasn't in a good spot. But I thought that she was a dope individual. See, we got MCCC2 in the building. Said, hey, you two. I think the last time I watched, y'all were moving into a new recording space. Is that right? Did I remember correctly? Yes. So this is the new space, but we're set up differently for today. And yeah, this has been our new space for about what, 3 months now? 3 or 4 months? Something like that. 5 months?
I think we've been down here all year.
Oh, wow. Okay. Shout out to Ranjan Nayak. And look, y'all, I'm from Alabama. Excuse my pronunciation of
And
names.
I'm from Baltimore, so you, my bad, our bad.
That person said hi. What up? Jack said, the thing is I ain't trying to sound conceited, but I'm smarter than most, and I'm mostly left bored. So a good match for Jack would be somebody that can have that intellectual conversation. So another sapiosexual.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep. We got the congrats from MCCC. That's what's up. And then we'll do this one here and then go to the next Reddit story. The thing is, if there's a connection, then there's a connection. You can't really force it. Absolutely.
1,000%.
They like you or they don't. You like them or you don't. 100. We'll do one more. As far as dating is concerned, how important to you is it for you two to specifically, I messed that up. As far as dating is concerned, how important to you two specifically was religion or your beliefs? I was going to get it right on the 5th time.
I know, baby.
So it was important for us enough that we had a conversation about it specifically. We identified separately and together that physical intimacy, money, religion, spiritual beliefs, and I think those are the 3 big pillars that we really, communication.
Yeah. Okay.
Were the like 4 areas that we talked about, said that had to be aligned, otherwise the relationship was likely going to be doomed or it wasn't going to work out. So we had really intimate, deep conversations that covered all of that. I expressed areas that I felt was a concern around religion, as I'm not religious, but she is. We talked about that. I said to a lot of people that I thought we were oil and water because of that. But where we came to an understanding was, and these are her words, as long as King did not pull me from God, we're solid. So do you have anything that you want to add to that?
No, I will say, I grew up in the church. Well, we both grew up in the church, and I always hear about being equally yoked. And I know I'm very much aware of what scripture says on that. However, the biggest thing for me is I have dated men who were Christians. I've dated men that I've met inside the church. I've dated men that I met on the way to church. And I have never felt more equally yoked than I do with him. And it was a big thing for me. Don't pull me away from church. Don't see me going for yet another service and say, oh, you're going to church again? Like, how many times are you going to go in 1 week? As long as I didn't hear that from King, I was fine. And I never have. It's been the opposite. King has been the one to push me like, are you sure you're not going? What's happening? What's going on? And the one to delve deeper for me.
What does the scripture say about the thing that you're reading or talking about? So things like that. So I encourage that. I'm supportive of her beliefs, but I told her, don't ever expect me to walk into a church in life. And you've gotten me to go in 3 times for not church reasons, though.
First of all, it's been more than 3 times.
Okay.
It's been more than 3, but yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Next one up here. Said, cool, thanks for the insight. Hey, man, appreciate you asking the questions. Thank you. Next up here, we do this technically. Bam. because we got a whole studio set up going.
Ooh, you know, I was about to ask questions.
This person wrote that they were just venting, but it seemed like it was interesting. So I'm going to read it here.
Can I read it?
Go ahead.
Okay. Let's adjust the eyes. I'm not entirely sure why I'm posting this. I guess I just need to vent my frustration. I, 38 male, have been chatting with someone, 34-year-old female, for a couple of weeks. We got on great, both outdoorsy, countryside lovers, city dislikers, etc. We met for a coffee last week, had a great 2-hour chat, not even really noticing that the place had closed. Fast forward to yesterday. We went on a countryside walk together. This was another few hours of great chats and laughs. I walked her back to her car. We kissed goodbye. Not a quick kiss, a few minutes, quite intimate. The sort where you feel they're definitely into you. We say goodbye and we both head off home. I am, of course, getting my hopes up, thinking that went well and looking forward to seeing her again. I text her to ask if she got home okay. She lives about an hour away. And after a while, get a reply saying that she had a great time and thanks. I'm really a nice guy, but she doesn't have any romantic feelings for me. Boom. Hopes dash again.
Hey, he got more than you got. My bad, man.
No, I can't fault someone for not having feelings for someone else. But this time, the mixed signals just destroyed me. My brain can't reconcile how things were when we said goodbye and the text message an hour and a half later. It wasn't like I kissed her without warning. I asked first and she seemed extremely into it. She could have said something right then and there, or if not, could have said maybe next time and then headed off before sending the text. I hopped back on Bumble to unmatch and she also deleted her account, which seemed a bit odd. If I had just been rejected at the time, it wouldn't have been so bad. But that hour and a half where my hopes up, where I had my hopes up, just made it 10 times worse. Even though I did remind myself a couple of times to not let my hopes get too high yet.
Okay. My initial thoughts were, I think that there was something about the kiss that just wasn't good. Either your breath wasn't right, you did too much.
Oh my God.
Oh, please.
That reminds me.
Please,
that reminds me of
Go
a
ahead.
date. So I know y'all probably thinking, well, Michelle, if you're vegan, then why not just go to a vegan restaurant? One day I was walking around the mall down in Bethesda, and this doctor, I didn't know at the time that he was a doctor. This doctor came up to me and I was in sweats and I was looking for something. And he said, "Oh, you're very attractive. You know, I'd like to get your number." And I was like, okay, you know, he's a handsome guy. He was well put together, well groomed, not a little rail thin guy. He was well groomed. And we exchanged numbers. He texted me. I told him I was vegan and he knew of this vegan restaurant in Bethesda and recommended it. And I looked at the menu and I was like, oh, okay, you know, this looks nice. We go on the date. I find out he's a doctor. Some red flags. Okay, well, not even red, because at the moment I thought they were red. I thought they were like yellow. He said, "I'm probably not going to eat around you because when I'm around beautiful women, I can't eat." So he said that, and then he actually did it. So when we were at dinner, I got real food and he did not. Turns out, that's when I find out that I don't know if it was an ophthalmologist or an optometrist, but he's a doctor. He's an eye doctor, and he was working at the mall. He was leaving. And then we go for a walk after this, and we walk to like this community pool or something, and we sit down and we're just talking. And you know me, I love conversation. You know, we're just chatting it up, whatever. And he leans in for a kiss, and it's sloppy. It is sloppy and it's all tongue. Like, we are trying to keep a PG-13 show, so I can't even demonstrate on King, but it was sloppy and it was ugly. It was nasty. I don't play that. And I was done after that date. Not because of the quality of the kiss, but because of the assumption that I wanted you to kiss me.
Just like everything added together.
Yeah.
So I've only had 2 experiences where like the dates were okay, and then as a guy, right, there's always the thing of you're sizing up the person and trying to determine, all right, if the touch barrier has been broken and broken early, then there's a chance that having a kiss is okay.
Mm-hmm.
Only twice have I ever kissed anybody and I was like, never again. One, the person was a smoker.
Oh, wow.
And they didn't divulge that, but I found out.
You found out.
Found out. There's not really much you can do if you're a smoker to hide that. And the second one, she felt stiff, and I was like, oh crap, like I could feel her be stiff. So I thought she wasn't feeling me. So I'm like, this is done. But then when she reached out to me like later on, she was like, I wish we could have extended that longer. I'm like, wait, you were feeling it? Because to me, she was loose all the, like throughout the entire date, but then really stiffed up when I kissed her. So I thought, oh, I was bad. She didn't want it. Maybe I misread it. So I'm like, yeah, she's definitely going to be like, you're a nice guy and all, but right. So I was surprised to find out that was wrong. So we had another date and another kissing situation, and we just aren't compatible kissers. I'm not going to call her a bad kisser, but we were bad compatibility that way. And it's one of those things that I was like, yeah, I can't do this long term. So it does go the opposite way too. Ladies can be bad kissers and men can go, not doing it.
Do you remember our first kiss?
Oh yeah, I was happy. That she was a great kisser, because I was like, oh my goodness, because if it was bad, I mean, being that I've had that happen before, I'm like, I'm not gonna waste my time. I actually had somebody else go, but what if their lips were good for other things? I'm like, nah, don't matter. I said it. Let's see. Paul Bennett said, some go all the way to sex to determine if they're a match with somebody. I'm going to say this. I don't think that there's nothing wrong with that.
I think that's dangerous.
I think that if done responsibly by both parties, that is a healthy way to figure some things out.
So the reason why I say it's dangerous, oddly enough, I'm not putting on my health educator hat for that. The reason why I say that's dangerous is because sometimes sexual interactions are not going to be a thing for one reason or another. Because when you look at marriage vows, the typical vow says, in sickness and in health. When you're looking at someone and you're at that in sickness stage, for some reason, something's going on, they're facing some type of health issue, sex is not going to be on the table. So if that was the only thing that brought y'all two together, if that's where y'all were bonding, if that's where you were like, oh, this person is great and bad, so now I know that I can be with them, and then for some reason they're unable to do that, then what? So if that's what you were basing your compatibility and your factors for being with a person, then you're screwed if something happens. For example, King had heart surgery in January. Right when he was on the road to recovery, he had a gout flare-up. Right after the gout flare-up, he got tendonitis in his foot and couldn't walk. Right after that, he had a gout flare-up. And then shortly after that, he had another gout flare-up. So he's been battling health issues for the first 4 months of this year. If that was something that we had based our relationship on, where would we be now? Because for those 4 months, that he was battling his own health things and giving me the type of intimacy, not sex, but giving me the type of intimacy, just like being held. Like for me, intimacy is being held and being touched. He couldn't do that. So where would we be if we had based our whole relationship on that?
I mean, you could have ran.
I love you. I'm not going anywhere, King Smith. Besides, my ankle's jacked up, so I can't run.
Dang, stop you. Paul Bennett said, question, when is the tongue appropriate? First date, second date? Does it require a conversation? Is it a deal breaker if they are not into it? So let's go in order. When is it appropriate?
Not the first date.
Not the first date.
Not the first date.
I would say not the first date. And honestly, on times where I'm like, I think that this could be something, you know, that goes, I've either asked it myself or I've had it asked of me.
But okay, so I have to remember that we're an exception to the rule. So technically, we did do tongue on our first date, but it also wasn't our first kiss. And we had known each other for 2 months when we had our first date.
That's right.
Yeah. So
Oh, yeah.
technically, so again, we met each other August 6th, 2022. We shared a kiss or two. We shared like 2 or 3 kisses before we were ever officially a couple. And then when we went on our first date, because we had outings, but they weren't dates. When we went on our first date, which was the day we became a couple, October 20th, he did kiss me with tongue.
Yes.
So technically that was a first date with tongue, but it was 2.5 months after knowing him, and it wasn't our first kiss.
And we likely already talked about it at that point too.
Yeah. So technically, I think the better question is, should the first kiss be tongue? And that's a no.
No. Is it a deal breaker if they're not into it? I don't think so. I don't think so.
I think it depends on why they're not into it.
Yeah, I'd say it depends on like your comfortability of accepting how they kiss. Because if they're not into tongue, but you can still have a good sexually intimate kiss without tongue, totally possible. So for me, it's not a deal breaker.
But I think if like that situation where you're kissing a smoker and you don't know they're a smoker until you kiss it, that could be a deal breaker for you. If it was like your second situation where it wasn't all that and you tried again and it still doesn't. So not the first kiss could be a deal breaker, but
Pete said, Michelle, can I ask you a favor?
Sure. What's up?
What's the favor? So while you do that, I'm going to prep the next question. And since you messed up and you was good at reading, you are going to be our reader for the next one here.
All right. And Peter also said you can teach her in bed, but not teach her how to kiss or bad breath. That's true. I'm not teaching no grown person how to brush their teeth. Like, no. Unless there is some type of mental deficit or incapability, I'm not teaching a grown person how to brush their teeth. That's just, it's not fit to happen.
Keep going while I bring up the next one.
So Pete, I am very curious what the favor is that you have. Paul did say some cultures do not kiss. That's true. And they probably have a longer marriage rate than the cultures that do. And that's just a guess. Can I give King a nudge for you? Nudges this way, like that?
Yeah, I don't know what a nug is.
Oh, that's a nug, Lord. Maybe I'm tired. Oh, if it involves touching his head, it won't happen.
Won't happen. All right. So the next one is titled, I want to try and get out there more. Michelle, you have the floor.
Okay. I need advice. 33-year-old male, and I'm basically scared to ask women out. I joined the gym a few months back as I lost some weight prior and wanted to keep it off and just get in shape. After a few days of going, a young woman caught my eye. Don't get me wrong, there are lots of attractive women there, but she caught my eye. I don't know whether I was impressed by her fitness level or her ginger hair or her cute face, but I felt drawn to her in a way. She has a friend who she sometimes goes with who I used to work with in the building, but didn't really have much interaction with her. Is it right to ask her who her friend is, etc.? After recently asking a girl out at work who lied and to be honest was a little immature, I obviously won't ask gym girl out, but how do I start talking to her, etc.? I read all kinds of things about how you shouldn't approach people at the gym or flirt, etc. But this is the only place I see her. Should I try or just not bother?
Don't bother.
Nah, let it go.
Don't bother. Do not bother at all. If you had a decent relationship with this person, the friend,
yeah,
and you could talk to the friend and maybe use that person as a warm lead, Maybe, yes. That right there gives you a better shot of at least seeing if something's there. But going into it cold turkey where you don't have a relationship with either one of them before, I personally think it's a bad move. Now, if you know what choosing signals are when you get it, like if they come up to you, well, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say it like this. If they come up to you and they ask you for help with something, and then maybe they ask you about your day, and it's not just help with whatever bench press machine that they're on or whatnot, and then you might throw out something or say something as a joke, and they're and they touch you and laugh, then yeah, that's a choosing signal. That's something obviously, like, well, yeah, you might be at the gym to work out, but now they're also giving this extra time to you just to get within your space. Mm-hmm. If you were to experience something like that at any point, then I'd say go for it. But to your question of should you try or just not bother, don't bother.
I agree with King. I think the gym is a place where women want to get attention based on the outfits that they wear, but the reality is they just want to be left alone. And I don't think you should cross that line. Now, if you lived in a small town like where we live, it's small in the sense that it's big, but everyone knows each other. So I work at the high school that is in my particular segment of town. And everywhere I go, I run into my students. I was at the gym today and I ran into a whole bunch of students, especially seniors. And I'm like, no, y'all graduated. Y'all should be here during the day so that I can come after work and I had to see you. But we will see people that we know all the time. If you live in that type of area where the odds are high that you could see her at another point, 1000% approach her at that other point when you don't see her in the gym. But if you only see her in the gym, let it ride.
This last one is really good, but we are bumping up on time. What do you think?
I say we don't read it right now.
Okay, we don't read it right now. All right.
Under the time.
So we will save this one and
we'll do a Reddit review part 2. Reddit reads part 2.
I like it. I like it. Now let me get here. Let me do this and go bam. Ooh. Look at us. Hey, look.
Look at him. He's so here.
It's not over yet, but this has been one of our first live streams with no issues. I hope we can finish it that way.
Why you have to say that?
Jinx.
You know what I just noticed you as soon as you said that?
What up?
Where's the internet cord?
Hey. Looks like we've been good. Don't jinx it any further.
I love this man so much, y'all. Like, I said it earlier when I was live on my show, but I want all those who were listening to hear, like,
thank you, babe.
Truly love you.
I appreciate you. Your love is felt, and thank you.
Your love
Matter of fact,
is
no.
the one in a million.
You're welcome.
It goes on.
I said what I said. Pete
it goes
said.
On and on and on.
I meant to say noogie.
You know,
I don't. Yep. I don't receive noogies.
I value my relationship with my man. No, thank you.
I will instantly cut a person off that thinks that it is okay to do that to me. And I might be going to jail because we might have to fight. So for those of y'all that tuned in live, thank you. For those of y'all that are going to see the replay, we appreciate you as well. If there's a like button on the platform that you're watching us on, do us a favor, hit that like button. Also, on our website, we might as well just announce this. If you go to thekingandmeshow.com, there's a way that you can sign up for a newsletter. We're going to be doing things that brings value to you, but in order for you to be aware of it, you have to be signed up for the newsletter. So go to thekingandmeshow.com, find the area where it says sign up for the newsletter, and sign up for the newsletter. I'm literally saying that we value our supporters and we want to give back.
Yes.
But in order for you to know about it, you have to be signed up for the newsletter.
We want to do giveaways. Like, this is an awesome shirt. I have the design in a sweatshirt. I wore it last week. I love that thing. It's so comfortable. The color is so cute. I'm wearing our traditional logo, the King and Me shirt. Um, King has this shirt that says the train's going this way. We have some great merch and we want you to see it. We want you to check it out.
And
So
that,
please stop what you're doing right now. Pause.
wait, after.
Okay, after, and go to www.thekingandmeshow.com. We are giving away merchandise every single month.
Not just that.
Like,
Like we go to the different conventions and things. We had a exclusive Janelle Monáe
exclusive.
comic that we had that we gave away.
Yes, and
So
we have giveaways. Like, we have merch, we have other things, anything that we win, anything that we come of value, we want to be able to give it away. But y'all gotta sign up for these
gotta sign up for the
things.
newsletter so
You
that
gotta
you're aware
sign up
of
for
it.
the newsletter. You gotta like, subscribe, follow if it's on Facebook, and refer a friend. Like, come on in. Let's have these conversations together. Jack, wherever you are in Tampa, shout us out. Like, send us a message. We would definitely love to connect with you, to share with you, see how things are going. Come on, each one reach one.
Yeah, and look, I'm a sociable guy. I've met Paul through Pete up in New York City.
York.
Tarika, I've met when we wouldn't had dinner together down in Georgia. So yeah, would definitely love to connect. Paul, if you're still listening, I'm going to be intentional about saying this. The last Monday of the show, let's see if we can have
Of
it
the month.
of the month. Thank you. Let's see if Paul, if your schedule works out, because I know you do certain things around this time. Let us know if that Monday works out for you so that we could get you on as our second guest of the show and get you to impart some words of wisdom, man. Paul's been married to his lovely wife for over 20 plus years. And it's rare. It's rare to see people that have successful, happy relationships showcasing, share that. The scandalous stuff is easy to get on here and share, and people will consume that. But having a conversation about healthy relationships is a little bit more difficult. So, Paul, let me know. I'll
Get
reach out
at
to
us.
you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. That's our time. Thank y'all for tuning in. We'll be back next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. Might be a different setup. Who knows?
Who knows? You got to tune in to see, though.
All right, let's put this last one up here. Pete said, my bad, dude. I forgot you don't like anybody touching your bald head. Exactly.
Right.
Trauma from my youth. Love y'all. Have a good one. We're out. Mwah. Bye, y'all.
Peace.
If you feel that tongue.